Page 57, Blue Mood. On page 56, they're introducing you to some minor chords. We have major and minor chords. There's other chords besides these, but just take this a step at a time. Let's deal with major and minor. Without going into a lot of details, they're talking about the primary chords between a major key and a minor key. Well, I would prefer they introduce you to minor keys first, but Bastien doesn't seem to want to do that. They'll do it eventually. So just follow along as best you can, and it'll start to make sense later on. And now, don't you love it, people who teach that way? Ugh. Let's go back to C major. That's our standard study. We take a 1 chord in C major. It is a major chord. I don't know if you've had intervals yet. It's simply a major third and a minor third on top of each other. There's a major third and a minor third, and put them on top of each other like that's a major chord. Well, if you want a minor chord, you simply take the middle note, down 1. That's a minor chord. That's the difference. Otherwise, it's a minor third and a major third. Just switched them around. Now it's a minor third first and then a major. Where on the major one, it's a major third and a minor. We have primary chords. 1, 4, 5, 7 chord in C major. 1, 4, 5, 7, 1. Well, if I have a minor chord, or excuse me, a minor key, it's like C minor, not C major, here. What they don't tell you is the key signature for C minor. So I'll just let you know it's 3 flats. A B flat, an E flat, and an A flat. So when you run into those, you got to flatten them. So here, because there's an E flat and C minor, we got to do that. It's a 1 chord. Then the 4 chord, there's an A flat and C minor, so we have to include it. And that's a minor chord too. And then the 5, 7 chord is here. Remember the 5, 7 here? There's a B flat and C minor, so we have to do that. And then the 1 chord. At the bottom, they give you, typically we use inversions because we don't move the hands around so much. So in C major, it's this, 4, 5, 7, 1. Well, for C minor, it's this. See, the 5, 7 of this inversion is the same. Now, in the 5, 7, you would expect a B flat because that's in the scale. But we use a B natural because there's different kinds of minor scales, and I don't want to get into it right now. Just know that in the primary chord, the 5, 7 chord that we're using is going to be the same for major and minor, whichever. Later on, we'll get more into it. I really wish they wouldn't do this. Bastien, bad. But they did, so there you are. Otherwise, don't worry too much about page 56 right now. You can come back and review it once they've introduced you to minors a little, minor keys a little better. But Blue Mood is using some minor stuff, like at the beginning. We're in the key of F major, 1 flat, but get a lot of 7th chords in here, but that's normal. In a blues piece, you get 7th chords all over the place. We haven't really been doing that yet. They're being nice to you right now. But most of the time in a blues piece, you'll play 7th chords for everything, just pretty much through. However, just know that the harmony's a little different here. That's a 7th chord. It's actually a 9th chord. I won't get into it. So, and we're after the harmony. Follow their fingering, it's fine. I like the fingering in the 2nd line, 3rd measure. In the right hand, those 3 C's, they got a 5, 4, 3 fingering. I like that. I like using different fingers on repeated notes anyway, and this is good practice. This is a slow piece, so this is a good one to do that too. All you did is change hand positions, and this is one of the ways we do that. The left hand just has the chords. You're moving all over, but you got time because it's a slow piece. For the pedal, this has phrasing. So you're using overlap pedaling within the phrases, and then we have a little silence between the phrases. So, and for the most part, the silence is built into the music. You don't have to worry about it, but just go ahead and pedal it exactly the way they're telling you to pedal. It'll be fine. There's one little gotcha I'd like to point out. I don't know if it's an error or a gotcha, but I want to point it out. On the last line, look at this. On the first measure, in the right hand is a half note, quarter note, and a quarter rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. The left hand has a whole note, which means you're going to keep the left hand down during the rest on the right hand. 1, 2, 3, rest. So the left hand sounding by itself for one count. If you look above the rest of the piece before it, the left hand has a dotted half note every time. So there's a rest in both hands everywhere else. So you get complete silence. But here, it's not. Its left hand stays down. It's an important distinction. So you're going to play that. And the pedal comes up with the right hand. So we hear a rest in the right hand. 1, 2, 3, rest. And then you can pedal again after you play the notes in the next measure. I like to try this out. 4/4 time to give us 4 counts. Let's do it slowly to check the notes and the rhythms, because the harmony here is really interesting. So the right hand's starting here, left hand's here, foot's on the pedal. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2. 2, 3, rest.